Hey, good morning and welcome back to this YouTube channel, Superstar Traders. You already know me by now. My name is Tony George and I'm the head market analyst for EQ Markets Global. And I'm super delighted to share these brief moments with you where we look at deep market insights, okay? And we also look at all the technicals that we are expecting to play out for the week, and most especially where we expect most of our favorite assets to be going this week. All right. Should you have any suggestions for me on how we could improve the weekly market outlook and many more things? I would really like that you drop that in the comment section below. Okay. Perhaps you also think of an asset that we often don't touch, right? I need you to also drop that for me in the comment section below. And stay till the end because you know how we do it. I'll be sharing with you a minimum of 5 assets that will fetch you real money this week. Now, I'm not mincing words. You can check the previous weekly market outlook. You can check just last week market outlook to see the assets that I shared with you and how well they performed so that you will be able to tell me that what I'm saying is actually correct. All right. I need you to go back and check every other weekly market outlook and the assets that I share with you. All right. Most of the times, 80% of the times, they turn out to come out the way we have planned it. So I need you to stick around till the end of the video where you're going to be seeing the assets that are on my top priority for the week. That will be amazing, right? Now let's quickly go. So let's start with the economic calendar. And of course, this week we're having some handful of events, okay, that we're expecting this week. Very interesting week. Very interesting week. So only Monday is void of economic happenings, okay? But on Tuesday, we have two very important data we're expecting. And of course, that's the CPI data for the United States dollar, okay? The CPI month on month and the CPI year on year. And of course, we need to look out for this data, right? Of course, if the consumer price index should be increasing, of course, we know how adversely or how badly that should be affecting the market. Okay, so of course, we saw 0.4 in our last data, and of course, it's forecasted to be around 0.2. Okay, let's watch out for what is going to what the data is going to be for this week. All right, if it turns out 0.2, then it simply means that will be good for the dollar. But of course, if it turns out above 0.2 to let's say 0.3, 0.4, 0.5%, of course, that wouldn't be too good for the United States dollar. We know that, right? Then, of course, we'll be having an interesting and powerful speech from the Governor Bailey, as the governor of the Bank of England, as well, give a speech by 3 p.m. And going forward to Wednesday, of course, we're going to be having some FOMC rejections, reports, and statements. Okay, that will be by 7 p.m. still for the United States dollar, and as well, we know Fed's decision on tampering interest rates just for the purpose of fighting inflation and many more, right? And of course, Fed, even in the last early this year, came out to say that they would not they will continue to hike interest rates so long as the resultant effect is going to be to cushion the effect of inflation on the whole people of US, right? So basically, we don't really know for sure what Fed's decision is going to be. Of course, currently interest rate is standing at about 5.2%. And of course, today we're going to be having, on Wednesday rather, we're going to be having that funds rate decisions and many more. But I'm still of the opinion that perhaps this will be hiked by 25 basis points, all right, bringing the US interest rates to about 5.5%. Okay, so that I am suspecting, all right, because oftentimes we've seen where it looks like tentative or indecision, all right, whereby we see that interest rates hike still remains, the projection actually still remains the same as the previous, and of course results data come out and we get to see that it is hiked by 25 basis points or by 50 basis points. But let's still keep our minds crossed that yes, there is going to most likely be an interest rate hike on Wednesday 7 p.m. by Fed. Okay, and that would be for Fed on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we still have some interesting data that will be coming out. Of course, we also see that we also see that there is going to be monetary policy statement coming out from Europe. Okay, and of course, we are looking at a 25 basis points interest rate hike on the euro. And then, of course, we are expecting a core retail sales by 1:30 p.m. And of course, everything about sales manufacturing index that will be coming out by 1:30 p.m. on Thursday, right? And then, of course, we will also be expecting a press conference for the euro. Of course, that would be just after the whole refinancing rates and all. So by 1:45 p.m., there will be a press conference as regards to the monetary refinancing rates and monetary policy statements that were released. And finally, on Friday, we're going to also be expecting some monetary policy statements and, of course, from the Bank of Japan. It's always tentative. So it's always tentative. Okay. So let's see how that actually plays out, because the Japanese yen being strengthened is a long way coming, okay? And of course, with all the things that are playing out, I feel that the Japanese yen is brewing for a bullish run, right? So let's also keep that in mind. And more so, there are some medium impact data that are not featured here, all right? I'll need you to look out for it, especially on Thursday and on Friday. There are some powerful speech that will be given by some banks, some bank governors that are not really featured here, right? So I'll just need you to look out for those data as well, and keep yourself abreast with such information too. All right, let's quickly look at the dollar and what the dollar is expected to do this week, right? So last week I was telling you that I was actually expecting the dollar to come into 105.817, but it seems that this is not really happening. Okay, so the dollar is taking a reversal at around 104.780. So could that be a good reversal point? Could that be a good failure point? Right. So I try to find and wrap my head around it. So that same zone was a resistance zone here, and then it broke here and retested again. So, and then again it retested, broke, then bounced and bounced. So probably this could just be a good area or a good price level for us to see a reversal on the dollar index. But like I always do, I don't like to look at it with just one time frame, right? So, but then I'm expecting that perhaps the dollar is going to fall back into around 101 price level before we could possibly see a more bullish movement on the dollar. But let me just quickly show you a little more things. So I'm looking at it on the daily time frame here, and I found this nice trend line. All right, I showed you that last week in the last week weekly market outlook. All right, and I told you this could just be a reason why we are going to be seeing the dollar still continue to fall. But hopefully, I was hoping that it was going to break and then get to 105.817. But that notwithstanding, on the daily time frame, we found this nice counter trend line, which had then been broken, but it's sitting pretty well on a minor support, right? It's sitting pretty well on the minor support as at now that we speak to you, okay? Now, if this minor support holds, then we're going to most likely see the dollar rise back into this trend line, okay? That would be around 104 price level, okay? But then, if it breaks this level, then we're going to see the dollar fall down to 102.838 and, of course, 102.295. Remember, we have a lot of activities that may most likely strengthen the dollar or even weaken the dollar this week. And of course, that's why we need to trade every day, being cautious and be careful. But for me, for my bias, I am still expectant and believe that the dollar is going to be weakened, all right, based on technical analysis, based on purely technical analysis, right? I'm expecting the dollar to fall down to 102.838 and then well below that level, 102.295. Right, that is what I'm expecting this week. I'm expecting a weakening dollar, or a weaker dollar rather, this week. Right. So, are you ready for me to show you the 5 assets that will make you money this week? Right. Before I show you that, now I need you to do me a favor. Right. Click on the subscribe icon and then subscribe to this YouTube channel. Okay, click on that, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Not only that, all right, I also want you to share this video to your everyone, to your contacts, to your community. If this video was really impactful, at least the first phase, before I show you the second phase that will fetch you money. And the last you should do for me, right? Leave a thumbs up for me. Your thumbs up means a whole lot to me, right? So just smash that thumbs up, but don't spoil it, right? Just smash it hard, okay? Smash it hard and leave a comment for me. Smash, leave a comment for me. Smash, leave a comment for me. And after you do that, you can also decide to follow us on all of our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and on YouTube. We're EQ Markets Global, right? So you can look at the spelling of that EQ Markets Global and look for us everywhere that you're most active, right? So let's quickly go over, guys, and let me show you the 5 assets that will fetch you real money this week, right? The 5 assets that will fetch you real money this week, okay? So if you're ready for me, I am ready for you. So, okay. So number one asset I'm going to start with is the EuroUSD. I thought you guessed right. I think you guessed right. So for the EuroUSD, like I told you, I am biased, and this is the reason why. Let me show you on the weekly time frame, right? So on the weekly time frame, we have the break of structure, like I told you, a support area and bounced off, then a nice counter trend line that became a main trend line, and then of course after obeying these zones, and then we saw that it still respected this zone. So this week, I am pretty well sure that it will continue in its bullish move or in its bullish direction. Or perhaps we're going to see a little form of consolidation, so to say, and then of course it's going to continue moving bullish. If you look at it on the monthly time frame as well, we have bullish momentum. After bouncing up from here, and we've seen the dollar rise up to significantly around 1.10334, right? Around that level before having a bearish a month last month, all right? The month of May was bearish for it. But then let's take that for a bearish retracement. This month we're having a recovery of that bearish move of May, right? So on the daily time frame, let's scale down back to the daily time frame and let me show you how you can trade the EuroUSD. All right, so the EuroUSD is significantly on a resistance zone, right? So this area is a whole lot of resistance zone for the EuroUSD. Look at that area critically, right? It's more like a resistance zone. Okay, let me sorry, just a second. All right, so if you look at this area very well, this was a break, retest, and bounced off, break again, retest, break again, retest. So this particular area is a resistance zone. And so if we could find a break and a retest, then it would be perfect entry for us. Except for some persons who last week on our live market session took the trades, and I told you this was going on a long-term buy, right? On a long-term buy. So for this week, I'm expecting this particular price area at around, okay, just a second. I'm looking at this particular price area at most 1.07983, 1.07983. I'm expecting this zone to be broken. And of course, if this zone is broken, we find a retest, right? I'm expecting this to play out, a broken area, then a retest on that same zone. After that retest, then we go all the way up, right? So this is what I'm expecting that would happen on EuroUSD this week, right? Break above this zone, come back to retest, and then that would be a perfect entry for us, and we go all the way up, right? But as well, we can still see market respect this zone quite a bit, okay? So we can see prices get from this zone, have a little more retracement before a break of that zone. But in the long run, I'm expecting a bullish run on EuroUSD, right? So on NZDUSD as well, I'm expecting the same to happen, right? Because as well, we can see on the weekly time frame, we have the bullish confirmation as well. And then this is taking off flight from a significant level, right? This level will best be seen and appreciated if you look at it on the daily time frame, right? So let's look at it on the daily time frame, right? So yeah, it was a support, then break, and it support that before it broke, right? And of course, if you take it all the way back, we can notice that this particular area acted as multiple supports and also resistance area. So we see currently price taking flight, a bullish flight from that particular significant support area, right? So we're going to be expecting more bullish run for NZDUSD this week, all right? So what I would advise is this, right? Find a little more retracement, okay? Find a little more retracement for prices to come back into this level, right? If possible, for prices to come back into this level at around right? That level is around 0.61073, 0.61073, right? If we find a bearish mode retracement on this, then we can find confirmation around that zone to go bullish all the way up, okay? So that's what I'm expecting on NZDUSD. And then for GBPUSD, right? This particular area is a long time coming as well, all right? It's a long time coming. But let's see what happens on GBPUSD. As well, I am bullish biased on GBPUSD, and I'm looking at GBPUSD breaking this weekly, all-time weekly time trend line, right? So the trend line actually for me kicked off sometime in May 2021, since May 2021, all right, when officially this began to have the massive sell-off up until we had the reversal at around September 2022, right? That's almost like 2 years, right? Like a year plus rather. Then this particular trend line this is the fourth time actually, right? Prices is coming to test this particular trend line, right? We have here one, we have this whole area considered as one, or possibly say 3 times, and this whole area as well considered as 3, right? But then I'm expecting a break of that particular trend line. Why? Because on the monthly time frame, we have the bullish momentum, okay? We have the bullish momentum. So I'm possibly expecting this particular area to be broken. So let's go down back to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, since price is sitting at a very significant weekly trend line, right? I would ask that we will be extremely cautious how we trade the GBP USD for this week, okay? Except we see a breakout, then we can find a good retest, then we can take a bullish flight. But if not so, let's watch out for this asset and how it reacts to this particular trend line. If it's going all the way down, then we are only opportunists, right? Let's take it all the way down. The next that is going to make you money is GBP and NZD. So I've been on this trade since last week, right? And why I've been on this trade since last week is because what I noticed is that price actually came into a very significant resistance area around here, right? Price came into a very significant resistance area around here. And then, of course, I noticed carefully that every time it came into that area, it was actually being rejected, except for this that was caused by news that still eventually came back, right? So I am expecting a bearish movement on GBP and NZD this week, but this is how you're going to be trading it, okay? So me basically, I entered since last week, and I took my trade at a sniper entry somewhere around this level here, okay? I took my trade somewhere around this level here, 2.05904, right? But then I am expecting that price is going to continue running bearish all the way down. If you look at it significantly on the daily time frame, we already have bearish confirmation here, right? We already have a bearish confirmation here, okay? So I will be sell bias on these assets, right? In as much as I will be sell bias on these assets, these are key areas to also look out for. Why this is a key area to look out for is because, of course, at around that 2.03809, right, we find that this was a resistance. Then we found this break of structure, retest. It could possibly just be another continuous bullish movement that we're going to be having here, right? So even if you take a short position on this particular asset, you should also look out for 2.0389801, all right? If prices come back into this zone, fine, then we can close out our sell positions. But of course, if it breaks this zone, we're going to find another retest and take it all the way down, all right? So for now, the bears are still dominating the market, and let's see how they continue to push prices even further below. All right. So that's my take on GBP NZD. For Euro GBP, I am buy biased on Euro GBP. All right. I am buy biased on Euro GBP after prices sank into the after prices sank into the 0.85411 level. Okay. I am actually buy bias, but in my being buy bias, I do not take for granted the fact that there was an existing trend line that was obeyed severally. So we had the first touch, second touch, the third touch, and this is on the daily time frame, interestingly, right? So we're going to be seeing that, okay, we already saw that this particular area now has been broken through. So if it has been broken, it's finding support at this major established support area. It simply means we're expecting that this is going to run into this old trend line, find resistance around that area, and continue to go bearish. All right. So that's what I'm basically thinking in my head. All right, but not to take a buy position yet because it's yet to confirm on the daily time frame. But of course, there is confirmation on the 4-hourly time frame. Of course, if you want to risk it, then it's fine. You can go ahead to take on a bullish move on Euro GBP. But why I wouldn't advise you to take that bullish move yet is because of this. Let me show you. The risk to reward is not really worth it. So let's assume that you get into the market, buy at the current market price, right? To take profit, which is considered at least here reasonable enough, is 52 pips. And then to our stop loss is about 28 pips. Okay, that's approximately 1:2. Not really up to 1:2. I think around 1:1.9. 1:1.95, right? Or something around that level. If you feel it's good enough, then you can take on a buy position here and expect to get out of the market around 0.86144. But well above that level, we can still see that it's going to come all the way into 0.87000. All right, that's for Euro GBP. Let me quickly give you gold, all right, because gold as well is on a bullish movement this week. All right, I'm expecting massive bullish movement this week on gold. All right, I'm expecting massive bullish movement this week on gold. But that notwithstanding, okay, there is a resistance area around where currently gold is trading, right? There's a resistance area around where currently gold is trading. So until that particular area is broken above, then I would not advise you to go long term on gold. Where is that area? Okay, let me show you that area here. All right. So the area is around 0. Sorry about that. The area is around 1982.12, 1982.12. So if we find gold move above that level, then we can say that gold is going all the way up to create a new all-time high. But of course, if it struggles to break above that level, then it simply means that gold will most likely break this trend line and continue to go bearish. All right. But in either case, I am buy biased on gold for this week. I am buy biased on gold for this week. And of course, I'm expecting that gold is going to come into the 1982.12 level. In fact, break above that level and continue to go bullish. Right. That's what I am actually expecting to play out on gold. Okay. Prices to come into 1982.12, and of course, find a way to break that zone and then continue to go up. Or rather, you can find resistance around this zone, fall back, and then continue to go bullish. So that is for gold. Okay. So I've given you Euro USD, NZD USD, and GBP. Euro USD is a short buy. NZD USD is most likely a short buy as Euro USD. But GBP USD, I said, watch the weekly trend line that it's currently trading at, right? And also GBP NZD, I told you it's going to be a short, right? Euro GBP, I told you, is also going to be a buy, all right? But then we need more confirmation before we jump into that market. And then as well, gold, I told you, is going to be a buy. The last but not the least is GBP JPY, all right? So significantly, last week, I told you GBP JPY was going to sell off, right? But then what we found on last week is that it sold off for 2 days. And after the 2 days selling off, it continued to go bullish. So I'm wondering why, right? So hopefully the Friday's intervention on the Friday's decision on on JPY rather, is most likely going to help strengthen the JPY, and we can see a massive sell-off on GBP/JPY. But then technically, let me show you what I'm expecting to happen, right? So first, I'm able to identify these particular trend lines that we had a touch share, and then of course we had another touch share. It simply means most likely that we're going to be finding another touch somewhere around here where prices is coming to. So we have price coming to the zone before selling off, right? So if that's the case, all right, which most likely GBP/JPY is bound to do, then it simply means we need to be patient and we need to wait for when prices comes properly into the zone before we have that massive sell-off. All right. So what is that zone that I would be waiting for? What is that zone I would be waiting for? Of course, that zone will be somewhere at around 176.780. Okay, 176.780. That's the price area that I'm expecting GBP/JPY to come into before having a proper confirmation for a massive sell-off. All right, so let's put an eye at around 176.780. Okay, around that level, then it's fine. We can find confirmation to take GBP/JPY all the way down. Sorry about that. All right, so this brings us to the end of the weekly market outlook. I hope this makes so much sense to you. Look out for these assets on my top priority this week, of course, and watch how they play out. And don't forget to also take the trades and enjoy your week full of peeps. Thank you so much, and see you in the next weekly market outlook. Bye for now.